Hi, I'm Mike, owner of the In-Groove in Phoenix, Arizona. Today I'm going to do the new arrivals for October 2nd, 2020. A lot of cool stuff this week. We're kicking off Rocktober. Rhino typically puts out a few killer reissues every Rocktober, so I've got those to show you. Some other stuff. Also, 3 new Tone Poets are now on the website for pre-order. These come out November 20th. We got McCoy, Tyner, Tender Moments, Donald Byrd's Bird in Flight, and Tina Brooks' The Waiting Game. Tone Poets, fantastic. It's nice that we're starting to pump these things out again. It looks like we're 3 a month for the foreseeable future. But I've got the pre-order up for those now. So a while back, they did a Chet Baker box set. That Chet Baker box set sold out pretty quick. It was like a one and done. They were all analog. They were cut by Kevin Gray. They had real nice Stoughton tip-on jackets. You know, high gloss, like the Tone Poet covers. They were fantastic, but they were only available in the box set. They came and gone, that was it. They just announced the 4 titles that were in the box. So in New York, the self-titled, It Could Happen to You in New York, the Riverside stuff. They're doing as standalone releases. They're all analog. I'm guessing it's the same Kevin Gray cut, tip-on jacket, the whole thing. All they've said is it is all analog, so it's going to probably be using the same exact mastering. And if you've gotten the box set, they sounded fantastic. That Chet Baker stuff is on Riverside is extremely hard to find clean. The vinyl on those old Riverside presses, noisy. If these are really worth owning, and they're $24.99, 25 bucks. Very, very solid releases. Those are coming November 13th. So those are available on the website for pre-order. Don't forget, guys, all this stuff can be purchased online at our website at www.theingroove.com. Also back in, I don't have it to show you guys, but it'll be here by the time the video goes live. I got the Analog Productions Waiting for the Sun. I talked to you guys about them a couple of weeks. I only got a few copies. They sold out immediately. The Doors LA Woman is on the top 10 analog records in print that you should own. My list I did a video on. These are fantastic. It looked like for a while every one of them were out of stock, and it was looking like for a while these things were going to shoot up quick and in a hurry because the box set that they did was already selling for $1,200, $1,300, $1,400. I mean, it was triple to quadruple the price of what it came out as. So if you're a Doors fan, you should have all these records. They are absolutely fantastic. I did a shootout of LA Woman. That came out on top. So weird, right out of the blue, they announced Alice in Chains Facelift for November 13th. This is a record that I get called on every week, every couple of weeks. Hey, do you have this album on vinyl? No, that's not in print. It goes for a lot of money. Well, why don't they reissue it? You know, that conversation takes place forever, for years and years and years. And now they're finally reissuing it. So that is going to be extremely popular. November 13th on that. So this is the last video that I'm going to do that has no Coltrane's in it. So the Coltrane Ballads and Love Supreme pre-orders will be done after this week, and hopefully I will have inventory left over to sell. If you have not pre-ordered that title already, it is best that you pre-order it. It is the all analog 33 RPM Love Supreme and Ballads, all analog, done in conjunction with acoustic sounds, the Analog Productions hybrid title. It's going to be extremely popular. It's made in the same vein as the Tone Poets. If you haven't seen the Gets title and the Louis Armstrong that they did last month, it's the same thing. They're going to be hot, and I really have high hopes for them. I think they're going to be fantastic. Having an all-analog in-print $35 copy of Love Supreme is going to be fantastic. The last Analog Productions title that they did, Love Supreme on, was a double disc, 45 RPM. I want to say they're $350, $400 before they announced this title. Maybe they've come down a little bit, but they're really, really expensive. And there is no title of that Love Supreme that's analog that's really under $100 on the modern audiophile reissue front that they've done in the last, Speaker's Corner, the various reissuing houses. It's super in demand, and that'll be real hot. So that will be here next week. You can still pre-order it. Also, next week, we're going to have the wonderful sounds of male vocals. I've showed you guys the wonderful sounds of female vocals, the wonderful sounds of Christmas. This is going to be the male counterpart. These are extremely popular, high-quality audiophile sampler discs. I have played the wonderful sounds of Christmas. This is my store copy. This came in this week as well, so this is back available to order. Do not wait too much longer because Christmas titles, especially good Christmas titles, always sell out well before Christmas. But I played this in the store. I was out of it for a couple of weeks, but I played this in the store religiously for a couple of days. I mean, twice a day. And every single time I played it, it sold. Oh, people are like, I love that song. Oh, what is this playing? And I would show them. It's the wonderful sounds of Christmas. It is an audiophile Christmas compilation. So that is back in print. But next week, brand new, the wonderful sounds of male vocals. Available for pre-order. It will be shipping out probably the beginning of next week. Check that out. So yeah, Tone Poets, Chet Baker, Alice in Chains Facelift, Coltrane Ballads, Love Supreme, and the wonderful sounds of male vocals all next week should start shipping. So let me go over the actual stuff that is new this week. So we're starting to see Christmas stuff. This is when you can actually get Christmas music in September, October, Christmas stuff. Come November and December, nobody has Christmas stuff left. But as of now, we still have it. Kenny and Dolly, Once Upon a Christmas. This is a classic Christmas album. And probably the most famous, might be the most popular, if not within maybe the top 3 or 4 Christmas albums of all time, and definitely even still today. This is probably the biggest. I mean, it has, Bing Crosby, White Christmas. Absolute classic, must have. I've never had this leading up to Christmas. So come December, I've never been able to actually have this in the store. It's always sold out and it's always back ordered. It's a classic, but yeah, I have it now. This is the indie exclusive, limited to 2,500 on yellow marble vinyl. This is Dawes. Good luck with whatever. So enthusiastic in that, right? Whatever. Okay. Elvis, I mean, fantastic Christmas. This is a comp that came out not too long ago. Just a new Elvis Presley Christmas comp. It's not Christmas without Elvis singing Christmas tunes. The Groovy Ghoulies. So this thing is super rare. They did this on Frankengreen vinyl, limited to 500 copies. This is the horrifyingly rare power pop from the beloved TV cartoon. I have never seen this. So, of course, I was not alive when this was a beloved TV cartoon, so that probably accounts for some of that. But I have it. Merciful Fate. Yellow and red marble. What is this? Don't Break the Oath. Pretty super limited, I'm guessing. I think I saw a number online and it wasn't much. Okay, so the very tail end of last week, the Mac Miller, I guess this was the mixtape, the Landmark 2010 mixtape by Mac Miller. Kids. So Mac Miller, boy, he sells some records in the store. Typically don't sell a ton of Mac Miller on the website, but I sell a lot of Mac Miller in the store. Okay, so I showed you guys the Nick Mason. I went to the Saucer Full of Secrets. I've talked about that. It was a fantastic show. This was another fantastic show. I don't know how the vinyl is going to be, but I actually had front row tickets to this Roger Waters show. And it was amazing. And actually, the back of this record looks like, I saw it in Glendale. It kind of looks like the venue because it's an ice skating rink. But yeah, he did like a laser show at the tail, and they reversed these tracks a little bit. So at the beginning on side A, he kind of does the Dark Side of the Moon stuff on this. But live, he kind of did the Dark Side of the Moon stuff last. But it was great. He was promoting his newest album, which I really, really dug. Is This the Life We Really Want is the name of the album. But it was great. Tracks from the new album, which I enjoyed. Dark Side, Wish You Were Here. You know, he did all the later Pink Floyd stuff. But yeah, it was a great year. I saw Roger doing all the Dark Side, post Dark Side, and then I saw Nick do everything pre Dark Side. It was a wonderful year for Pink Floyd. But this is a triple disc. You know, we'll see how this is. This is the soundtrack to the film. I have not seen the film, but I was at the show. So I'm sitting there at the show. I wish I knew. You know, we closed the store early. I think I closed the store like an hour early. Get to the show. Front row tickets. And apparently Roger was doing this the whole tour, but I don't like to spoil set lists and stuff of that nature, so I try not to preview it. But this was foolish on my part because Roger goes off the stage and he goes, signs autographs and shakes hands with everybody in the front row. I could have brought an album, could have got a cool Roger Waters autograph, would have probably paid for most of the ticket, you know, well, not most of it, but it would have paid for a chunk of that ticket if I sold it, which I wouldn't have. But people were getting, you know, autographed on records, and me, like a moron, I'm like one of the only guys sitting there with absolutely nothing, and I own a record store. But I got to shake his hand. Like 2 or 3 people filmed it next to me, and I was like, you know, with the show, I'm like, oh yeah, send me the video, would you? Nobody sent me squat, so somebody out there, I was hoping, posted it to YouTube. Never happened, but there's a video out there somewhere of me shaking hands with Roger Waters, which was pretty thrilling for me. I know, the life of a record store guy. Okay. Seether. What does this say? Boy, these metal bands and their fonts, they don't like to make things very readable. So we're just going to gloss over that. Gene Autry, another Christmas classic featuring the #1 hit and most beloved holiday classics, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Which is, you know, that's a must for Christmas. I'll tell you, playing that comp, Wonderful Sounds of Christmas in the store, it's been great. I think people, with everything that's going on in the world, Christmas music in September was where it was at. People were instantly in a good mood playing that. I think people are buying more Christmas music now than they typically do in November and December. Lana Del Rey, I actually really dig Lana Del Rey. I kind of previewed this album. It's essentially kind of the Lana Del Rey version of Jim Morrison and the Doors' American Prayer. You know, it's Lana Del Rey reading poetry, but not as good as American Prayer, because that musically I thought was really, really good too. So check this out. Quick, hurry up and order it, because I'm not going to have this for long. I've showed this on the channel before. I've not been able to get these things in quantity. I don't think they're making them in quantity, but this is made by Slowdown Sounds. This, for all intensive purposes, is a tone poet. This is made the exact same way as a tone poet. I guess minus Joe. But you've got the original analog tapes. Preston played it at RTI. Tip-on jacket, same company. They look, you know, looks like they licensed the original photography. I mean, this is, you know, all cut by Kevin Gray, all analog. This, for all intensive purposes, is a tone poet, but a few dollars cheaper, $32.99. And it is a fantastic album. I really, really dig it. It's a unique album because there is no blower on this album. You've got guitar, bass, drums, and a piano. So there's a real cool cover of Miles Davis's So What from Kinda Blue, and kind of where Miles would have his parts, Grant Green is playing a real nice semi-funky guitar. Really, really good album. I dig it. So I showed you guys a bunch of ORG titles in the past, but this was one that was missing from those videos. I only had a couple of them and they were sold out. I couldn't get them. My Favorite Things, John Coltrane. This is a all analog record cut by Ernie Grunman from the original tapes. This is stereo. This is a double disc 45, but fantastic sounding record. And let me tell you, these all analog records by guys like Coltrane, they're not going to be in print forever. This was out of print or waiting repress a couple of months back. And I went on Discogs, they were going for 80, 90 bucks. I mean, they kind of bumped up there in price. So it is back in stock, a real fantastic title that you should own. This is a music on vinyl, limited to 1,000 red colored copies. This is Ry Cooder's soundtrack to Trespass. Ooh, that's a low number. 57. Somebody's going to get that. Okay, so they did the whole New Order campaign. I talked to you guys about that before. They reissued like a big box of Power, Lies, and Corruption, and then they did some singles to go along with it. They didn't send me the box sets, but they sent me all the singles. So we've got the 12-inch of Confusion. New Order, by the way, one of my absolute favorite bands and probably my favorite band of the 80s. I don't think a week goes by that I don't play maybe Substance 2 or 3 times in the store and just drive everybody nuts, my wife, everybody. The 12-inch to Blue Monday. I saw, it was like Peter Hook or somebody was doing an interview where he said that they lost money because of how complicated at the time it was doing these die-cut sleeves. They lost some like 20 or 30 cents every single time they sold one of these. So when they announced the reissue, I thought to myself, well, I wonder if that holds true. Will they be losing money? Obviously, they're not going to lose money, but will they go through the hassle of cutting it or do it cheapy? But this is actually cut and just like the original. All right, These Like Us. That's a 12-inch. You see Blue Monday, but you don't ever see this as a 12-inch. And Murder, another 12-inch you do not see. Blue Monday, it's out there. But these other 12 inches, man, they are hard to get. So all those are on the website. Hopefully I'll have the Power, Lies, and Corruption box in the next couple of, days. So the Rocktober titles this year. Unbelievably popular, unbelievably heavily allocated. I got some, but they cut my orders by a fifth is what they said. And I ordered a ton, so I still got a chunk, but a fifth is a pretty big hit. So, Nimrod, this is a double disc. I'm pretty sure this was a Rocktober title, yeah. This is a double disc. It's on 3 sides, so for fidelity reasons, they've kind of stretched it out. They put it on transparent yellow vinyl, and they put a etching on side 4. So, yeah. Nimrod. The Best of Otis Redding, 16 tracks from the King of Soul. So this is kind of interesting. So it says, let's see, newly remastered from the original master tapes. I doubt they've assembled this as an all analog best of. More than likely, they went back to the original master tapes. And it says mono master tapes. They went back to the original master tapes, digitized them, and put this compilation together. It still could be quite good. Otis Redding's music is. All right, so this is a 25th anniversary edition of What's the Story Morning Glory. This is on, I want to say, yeah, colored vinyl. I think it's silver. Oasis. Was going to high school at the time when this album came out, and this was an absolutely smash of an album. Couldn't get away from it on the radio back when you were forced to listen to the radio because that's what you had. If you wanted to hear something, you took your cassette tape and copied it off the radio. All right, Queen and Adam Lambert, Live Around the World. So yeah, I mean, it's 2020. Freddie's gone, but we have a new Queen record, I guess. Live, but yeah, it's still Queen. Yeah, I'm guessing that's going to be quite good. What is that, a double? It's at least a double. Okay, another Rocktober title. So this was a weird one when I saw this because, the Electric Recording Company announced that they were doing a Love Forever Changes, Electric Recording Company, some $500 record. I've never heard an ERC pressing. I'm sure they're good. Otherwise, they wouldn't keep selling out of these $500 records. But this was weird because this was a record that is essentially a fold down. And so for $500, you're getting a mono fold down? That didn't make a lot of sense. A $500 stereo reissue would have made a little more sense. But nonetheless, they still sold out of it. And then, maybe it's come out yet, maybe it's not, maybe it's about to come on. But wildly enough, it came out for Rocktober. So here it is. Not $500, but $21.99. The mono elusive mono mix on vinyl for the first time since 1967. Lacquer's cut by Bernie Grundman. So is this analog? It might be. You might be essentially, and it's weird because they signed that deal with ERC, and then they're like, I'm pretty sure they rushed this out or got this out, and they got it out in enough time to be able to put that hype sticker on there. So I think, you know, this is well worth the $21.99, and like I said, this was heavily allocated, but not as heavily allocated as this. And I should be starting these videos off with the more popular stuff, but here's the winner for this week. Jane's Addiction, Ritual Habitual. If you go back and you look at every single time this album has ever been repressed, there is not a version of this record that goes for less than 75 bucks. So this is going to be instantly sold out. So don't get mad at me if you go on the website and it's not there. But yeah, this is a Rocktober exclusive. This is a double LP on pearl vinyl. This seems to me like an easy future $100 record, and I'm not talking like a distant future. If you look at some of the Rocktober titles from last year, they did Black Sabbath's Dehumanizer, I think, $100, $125 already, and it has been for, you know, since a couple of months after it came out. But again, this was heavily allocated. I got some, but they're not going to last long. All right. King Diamond, Them on Black and Blue Marble. Merciful Fate, Melissa. This is on yellow with black streaks. Stormtroopers of Death, picture disc. That's pretty cool because it's actually a shaped picture disc. Actually, this thing is super numbered. These are hand numbered to 750. You can see that on the camera. So there's not many of these. All right, Humble Pie, live concert from Winterland, 1973. So I'm guessing there's two color records in here because you got a hype sticker for limited edition red vinyl and blue vinyl, and there's two records in there, so that would seem to make sense. It's the only thing that would seem to make sense. And I showed this one last week, but it's super limited, and they sent me the rest of my order. I figured I'd show it to you guys again because it's not going to last. They only did 500 of them. Dead or Alive, You Spin Me Round. Like a record. All right, guys. All of this stuff is on our website. Don't forget to subscribe. And, yeah, check out the website, www.theingroove.com. Until next time.